This is WION. World is one. This is your prime time. And you are watching Gravitas.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas. I'm Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Our top focus tonight on Gravitas as the Bihar stronghold of Bankipur slips from the BJP's grip. And Prashant Kishor makes that stellar electoral debut from the seat and achieves a big political breakthrough. Is this an indicator of change? Has this been a wake-up call? We are decoding the big developments coming in from India and getting you the bigger picture. That's coming up shortly. Also on the show for you tonight, Donald Trump has taken yet another U-turn, pausing strikes on Iran once again, but for how long? And what is brewing behind the scenes on the two sides in Iran and the US? What is the strategy looking like? Is an exasperated Donald Trump running out of options and asking troops for ideas to punish Iran? A Gravitas special report on Russia's new, cheaper cruise missile, now appearing more often on the battlefield, hitting Ukrainian targets. Can it prove to be a game changer? A major power tussle seems to be underway between Israel's defense minister and the Israeli military. We get you the complete story. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned as we tell you all about what's brewing behind the scenes as the rebellion against Asim Munir in Pakistan seems to be intensifying with each passing day. Why had alleged Iran-linked network, why is it being linked with recruiting teen hitmen? We tell you what is being said. And from South India, we decode for you the latest on the Kaveri water dispute, telling you more about that massive protest staged by the DMK against the Vijay government. What happened to Donald Trump over the weekend? A series of bizarre posts once again. What was the trigger this time? All this and a lot more coming up. Barely a week ago, intense youth-led protests, spearheaded by the Cockroach Janata Party, gripped India's national capital, triggering the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan as the Union Education Minister. In what seems to be yet another wake-up call for the BJP, the opposition has won two key assembly by-elections. Let's break it down. But the biggest setback, it seems, coming in the Bankipur seat, falling in the BJP national president's home state of Bihar, where the BJP won 89 seats last year, remember, and the victory of Prashant Kishor sparking celebrations within his party's camp earlier. Take a look. So that's just a sample of what the scenes look like as far as Prashant Kishor's party is concerned. The political strategist turned politician, it's a big day for him, securing that huge victory of about 19,324 votes over his BJP opponent. quite a remarkable feat. Earlier, the seat witnessed a lot of drama as well, as the BJP replaced its candidate, Abhishek Panti, with Neeraj Kumar Sinha within 24 hours of his filing nomination. And as per the data released by the Election Commission of India, Prashant Kishor won 49.22% of the total votes cast. On the other hand, the BJP's candidate could only bag 34% of the popular vote. And as far as the Mahagathbandhan is concerned, while the RJD's Rekha Kumari has been the runner-up in the assembly election earlier, she came a distant third this time around, garnering only close to 11% of the votes. But again, why is this election so significant? Let's break this down for you. First and foremost, a prestige battle for the BJP as well, as this seat, remember, was vacated by the BJP national president in March this year after getting elected to the Rajya Sabha. Bankipur is considered as a BJP bastion, with the party winning it since 1995, when it was known as Patna West. In fact, the father of the BJP president also won this seat until 2005. After his death in 2006, the BJP national president then continued BJP's winning spree in this seat. Last year, for example, he won by a margin of over 51,000 votes. And this was also seen as a litmus test in a way for Samrat Chaudhary, who took oath as BJP's first ever Bihar chief minister in April. Speaking to the media earlier, Prashant Kishor dubbed this victory as a referendum on the chief minister's leadership. Let's play this out.
भाजपा ने चुनाव जीतने के बाद यहाँ पर एक अपराधी प्रवृत्ति आदमी को, एक गलत चाल चरित्र के चेहरा वाले व्यक्ति को बिहार का नेतृत्व दिया है, बिहार के लोगों को स्वीकार्य नहीं है.
On the other hand, the Bihar chief minister congratulated Prashant Kishor on that victory. BJP state unit chief, meanwhile, also promised to conduct a detailed review of where the BJP went wrong in this election. Now, this election is also being seen as a sign of the possible emergence of the party of Prashant Kishor, JSP, as a major force in Bihar politics. Let's also talk about his journey for a bit. It's been rather unconventional for a politician in his capacity as the founder of the Indian Political Action Committee, or IPAC. He has been instrumental in devising campaign strategies, ensuring victory of multiple parties, in fact, including, interestingly, the BJP, the Congress, RJD, JDU, DMK, TMC. After embarking on a 2-year Padyatra of Bihar as well, he launched this party in 2024. That's the story there. In fact, he also positioned it as a new age party of sorts, pan-caste party, which would provide an alternative vision for the state of Bihar, whose politics, remember, has been dominated by the JDU and the RJD. However, the party's poll debut was a dampener in last year's Bihar Assembly elections. The party contested 238 out of the 243 seats, but failed to win a single seat. Overall, it received 3% of the total votes. Additionally, the founder of the party, Prashant Kishor, stayed away from the poll contest. Very interesting. And while the BJP won the Mangalpur by-election in Gujarat by over 30,000 votes, it suffered a setback in Madhya Pradesh as well. In the state of Madhya Pradesh, Congress retained the crucial seat, which witnessed a by-poll owing to the conviction of a sitting MLA in a criminal case. In fact, the party's candidate trumped his BJP rival, securing 42% of the votes. The BJP was eyeing a victory here, remember, considering that the ex-Home Minister was the MLA from there from 2008 to 2023. But the BJP's prospects were potentially impacted over internal resentment over candidature as well. Mishra supporters, for example, staged multiple protests after he was denied a ticket. Now, the by-poll results also depict a larger trend here. Let's look at that. In terms of sheer numbers, the political impact of youth voters, very significant, especially the Gen Z. It cannot be understated. For example, Bihar has a large youth cohort, with 22.8% of the voters falling in the 18 to 29 age group. Youth also likely to play a big role in the upcoming assembly elections of Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, as they constitute over 20% of the voters in these states. In fact, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, we're also talking about these states, but let's also talk about what happened in May this year itself. The Gen Z are believed to have played a vital role in ensuring actor-turned-politician Vijay's stupendous victory in the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections. So the concerns plaguing the youth in India cannot be ignored. The writing is on the wall. One of the top concerns here remaining unemployment, of course, while the overall unemployment rate was 3.1% in 2025. It was 3 times higher for the 15 to 29 age group reportedly. In fact, a recent survey by Deloitte also revealing the predicament in a way of the Gen Z. For instance, 57% Gen Z delayed major life decisions because of acute financial pressure. 37% Gen Z were unable to afford a home. The defeat in the by-elections also serving as a timely warning in a way. It is increasingly clear that the BJP government will have to take more efforts to cater to the problems of the Gen Z. It's vital to address their aspirations and their job concerns, failing which the BJP may face more setbacks in the future elections.
Never made when it comes.
Trump has taken yet another U-turn. He has paused the strikes on Iran once again. But for how long this time? Donald Trump late on Saturday said that he would halt new planned attacks on Iran pending renewed talks to wind down the war and also revive the stalled traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. But then there is a clear pattern here. The latest on that long list of announcements that the president has made to first threaten massive strikes, only to later call them off. A series of U-turns, and these shifts have in a way become a defining feature of this conflict that has sent prices of oil and basic goods soaring. And what's even more intriguing is that the announcements to date have been appended by renewed attacks, sometimes days or even hours afterwards. Will that happen this time as well is the big question. Also, what really triggered the shift this time? While Trump has said the US has agreed to pause attacks on Iran, let's tell you more about what he said at that point. Quoting, "We have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack in the perimeters of a deal has been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete and total opening of the Hormuz Strait and an end to Iran's nuclear threat." He also said the US was locked and loaded and ready to go, but that he agreed to cancel attacks, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. And then on Sunday, Trump said requests for more time from Iranian officials and leaders in Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the UAE had helped shape his decision. He further said, quoting, "It would have been disastrous for them and they did not want us to do it," quote unquote. At least that's what he has said. Before we get to what's been happening behind the scenes, the Saudi Crown Prince reportedly also spoke with Trump over the phone on Saturday. And according to the Saudi state news agency, he reportedly told him that dialogue was needed to de-escalate those tensions in the region and expressed concern over plans for new strikes against Iran. Meanwhile, Iran's acting Minister of Defense has said that the US remarks should be viewed as psychological and cognitive warfare. Interestingly, Iran on Monday earlier also said that no talks with America were underway and that no meetings were planned. And this, by the way, also contradicts Trump's claim that discussions would take place later in the day, a reason that he cited for calling off those planned attacks. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Rather than seeking a decisive military victory, according to analysts, Iran is reportedly pursuing a strategy of calibrated escalation aimed at widening the conflict without actually triggering a full-scale war. What's the goal really? According to analysts, it's reportedly to convince America and its allies that containing this crisis is more costly than accommodating Iran's demands over the Strait of Hormuz. And on America's side, what really has been happening behind the scenes? Let's take you beyond the headlines and decode those developments for you. For a while now, it has already seemed like Trump started a war he does not quite know how to end. So what's the strategy there? According to a CNN report now, an officer in U.S. Central Command's intelligence branch reportedly sent out a request saying they are looking for new, creative and unconventional ways to pressure and punish Iran. Reportedly sent to a broad group of military analysts. The report cited a source as saying that a senior U.S. military officer sent that message last week, soliciting new ideas for how to deal with Iran. So is Trump then running out of ideas and options on the way forward? Also, while he might say that he paused those strikes since he does not want to kill people, the reasons brewing for a while behind the scenes have been quite obvious, including America's depleting stockpiles, many Americans depleting patience with the ongoing war as well, and also the ties and debt as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, being a crucial factor. As the conflicts in Iran and Ukraine also strain U.S. weapon stockpiles, the Pentagon earlier said the U.S. Army had awarded Lockheed Martin a contract worth up to $58.6 billion to produce Patriot interceptor missiles. According to a Reuters report earlier, in fact, U.S. officials reportedly privately cautioned that resuming major combat operations against Iran would carry risk given the negative impact on stocks of munitions. Also, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the Washington-based think tank, estimated earlier that the U.S. military has fewer than 1,000 Patriot interceptor missiles and fewer than 250 Thar interceptors, which are two key air defense systems. Has supplied large quantities of weapons to allies while also using munitions in its own military operations in Iran. And there have been serious concerns raised about the inventories of key air defense and precision-guided weapons, which have only intensified. And of course, the big factor being the midterm elections. Time was already running out for Trump, it seems now, so are his options. Shifting focus now to the other battlefield. Russia has been flooding Ukraine with missiles, drones, those relentless attacks. But the biggest threat may not be the biggest or the most expensive weapon in Moscow's arsenal. Let's tell you about a new, cheaper cruise missile, which is now appearing more often on the battlefield, hitting Ukrainian targets while forcing air defenses to fight a war of numbers. And as Russia fires more missiles than ever, Ukraine is striking back deep inside Russian territory. Our next report decoding this for you.
The war in Ukraine is becoming a numbers game. More missiles, more drones, more targets, and more pressure on air defenses. Russia has just fired more missiles at Ukraine in a single month than ever before. An AFP analysis says Moscow launched 376 missiles in July. That is more than double the number recorded in June. But one number stands out: 126 ballistic missiles. For comparison, Russia fired somewhere between 200 and 300 ballistic missiles during the whole of 2024. Now, Moscow has launched 126 in just 1 month. The escalation has been brutal. On July 2nd, a Russian attack on Kyiv killed 30 people in one of the deadliest strikes on the Ukrainian capital. And behind this massive bombardment, a new weapon is becoming increasingly important. The Banderol. This is a relatively cheap cruise missile that Russia is reportedly using alongside larger missile and drone attacks. Its maximum speed is 620 to 650 kilometers per hour, while its cruising speed is 520 to 560 kilometers per hour and range of 500 kilometers. The weapon has been reportedly used particularly against Odessa and its critical port and grain infrastructure. Why does that matter? Because Russia does not always need to fire its most expensive missiles. It can send cheaper weapons in large numbers. The goal is saturation. Ukraine's air defenses have to detect every incoming threat, track it, identify it, and then decide whether to fire an expensive interceptor. This comes at a time when Ukraine is running very low on anti-missile defense systems like the Patriot. If Russia can send waves of low-cost cruise missiles alongside drones and ballistic missiles, it can force Ukraine to spend far more money defending itself. But Ukraine is not sitting still. Ukrainian drones continue to strike deep inside Russia. Kyiv has also increased its attack on Russia-annexed Crimea. Moscow says several people, including children, were killed in the attack. Ukrainian strike again targeted a warehouse belonging to the Russian e-commerce giant Wild Berries. Since mid-July, Ukraine has struck around 20 sites belonging to Wild Berries, which is also known as Amazon of Russia. So the war is escalating in both directions. Russia is increasing the volume of its missile campaign. Ukraine is expanding its drone strikes, and the battlefield is becoming a war of industrial endurance. Who can build more? Who can launch more, and who can force the other side to spend more defending itself? The Banderol may be cheaper than Russia's biggest missiles, but that could be exactly what makes it dangerous, because in this war, the weapon that costs less may ultimately cost Ukraine much more. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
A major power tussle appears to be underway between Israel's defense minister and the Israeli military. You heard that right. This is after reportedly announcing on live television that he was replacing a top IDF general. The minister is now allegedly walking back on his remarks. This is even as the Israeli military reportedly refused to act on his announcement. And this standoff has triggered a major political storm in Israel, fueling allegations of politicizing the military. That's the extent to which things have reached ahead of Israel's national elections in October. Also raising questions about the balance of power between Israel's political leadership and also its armed forces. The minister reportedly announced on Israel's Channel 14 that he had decided to appoint a new West Bank commander. He accused the current commander of defying his policy by trying to renew an administrative restraining order against a violent Israeli settler, reportedly. And according to Israeli media reports, Katz said Bluth and the military had acted, quote-unquote, contrary to his policy, insisting that the IDF Central Command Chief must follow the government's direction. Not just that, he said he wanted an IDF that delivers decisive victories, strikes its enemies, and protects settlers, adding that the IDF Chief of Staff had already recommended Khalifa for the post of Major General. But then the IDF immediately rejected the announcement. The military reportedly said Bluth would remain in his position and stressed that the defense minister cannot unilaterally remove a senior commander. It also said that the appointment had not followed established procedures. Under IDF rules, the chief of staff allegedly selects senior officers and the defense minister and then approves those recommendations. Reports in Israeli media saying the chief of staff has now frozen senior military appointments until after Israel's October elections in an apparent attempt to shield the army from political interference. And the move here is expected to keep Bluth in command for now. Facing mounting criticism, the minister later denied that he had fired him. He insisted he only announced his intention to advance Khalifa's appointment through the proper process and accused critics of misrepresenting his comments. So a lot has been brewing. And the former Israeli defense minister is also reacting sharply to the matter on social media. Former Israeli defense minister Gallant saying, I'm quoting now, the IDF is the shield of the state of Israel. Undermining the authority of commanders shakes the foundations of the army, and dragging the IDF into the political arena is playing with fire that endangers the state of Israel. Gallant, in fact, called Katz's televised move contemptible, saying it crossed the dangerous red line by undermining military commanders and dragging the IDF into politics. While former Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz warned that turning senior military appointments into campaign politics threatens Israel's security, adding that politicization of the IDF is not governance, it's a real danger. The conversation between Gantz and Bluth allegedly stemming from a dispute over an Israeli settler suspected in a brutal attack on a Palestinian man after a court reportedly lifted restrictions on the settler. Gantz instructed Bluth not to seek a fresh restraining order. Bluth and the military instead backed legal action to actually keep the restrictions in place, prompting Katz to accuse the general of ignoring his policy. And that dispute has now escalated into one of the biggest confrontations between Israel's political leadership and the military command in recent years. Settler violence has become a major issue in the West Bank, remember. The United Nations recently warned the violence has hit an all-time high. International calls continue to grow towards ending Israeli occupation, which also includes recent condemnation from close ally United States. According to the United Nations, at least 18 Palestinians have died this year in attacks involving settlers. Time now to take a quick look at the global headlines at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi visited and prayed at the Imam Ali Shrine in Iraq's Najaf, ahead of the annual Shiite religious gathering of Arba'in. Amid concerns over health, Myanmar's detained former leader Aung San Suu Kyi met a representative of the International Committee of the Red Cross. After the meeting, Suu Kyi's son said his mother appears in good health in the meeting. South Korea's weather agency issued a severe heatwave warning for Seoul, the first such advisory since introducing the designation this year to alert the public about extreme temperatures, the mercury soaring up to 42.5 degrees Celsius. Firefighters work to contain huge blazes in the northwestern U.S. city of Spokane after officials reported hundreds of structures had been reduced to cinders. Tens of thousands of people were ordered to evacuate. Flash floods triggered by heavy rainfall and cloudburst hit parts of the Kargil region, damaging infrastructure, disrupting road connectivity, and prompting rescue operations by the army, police, and civil administration. Actor-musician Ariana Grande announced that she is stepping out of the spotlight for a break after she finished her Eternal Sunshine tour due to the ongoing public scrutiny. UEFA threatens legal action over Gianni Infantino's scrapped plans to sell off stakes in FIFA competitions to private investors. This as pressure grows on Infantino as nations begin withdrawing their support for his leadership.
ये सिस्टम के अंदर हम रह रहे हैं, ये कोलैप्स कर चुका है।
Is it serving good governance?
Since the ouster of Imran Khan's government in 2022, the Pakistan Army Chief has been in the driving seat for all purposes in a way. Earlier this year, the Pakistan Prime Minister himself admitted that his country is being run by a quote-unquote hybrid regime. However, as Pakistan remains in turmoil, the cracks within the Munir-led regime are only widening. The first salvo came from none other than Pakistan's own Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi. Addressing an economic conclave, he made it clear that the current governance structure in Pakistan had collapsed.
मैं आपको सिर्फ ये बता सकता हूँ कि आप 10 साल बाद भी यहीं बैठे होंगे और इसी तरह तकरीर कर रहे होंगे और इसी तरह अपने मसले बयान कर रहे होंगे। इसने ऐसे का ऐसा रहना है, क्योंकि ये सिस्टम जिसके अंदर हम रह रहे हैं ये कोलैप्स कर चुका है, आप माने ना माने।
And what followed was even more intriguing. He openly advocated the creation of more provinces or administrative units to improve governance, even though this is not on the agenda of the ruling PMLN government.
आपको एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव यूनिट्स, सूबे, उसको जो मर्जी नाम दे दें, उसको लेके जाना पड़ेगा आवाम की सतह पर। आप जब तक वो नहीं लेके जाएंगे, आप जब तक आपके सारे चैम्बर्स यहाँ बैठे हुए, जितने धक्के आप लोग खा रहे हैं अपनी छोटी छोटी चीज़ के लिए, ये आपको अपने इलाके में अवेलेबल होने चाहिए।
However, this was not his individual opinion. Endorsing Naqvi's statement, the Pakistan military openly questioned the lack of good governance and linked it to the alleged inability of 4 provinces to cater to the growing population of Pakistan.
I think 1972 का सेंसस था, if I'm not wrong, कुछ 6.5 या 7 करोड़ मैक्सिमम आबादी थी पाकिस्तान की। 4 सूबे थे, आज हम 25 के ऊपर हैं। तो अगर अब आपकी आबादी 3 से 4 गुना बढ़ गई और वही 4 सूबे हैं, तो we have to see, is it serving good governance?
And while various political parties have demanded the creation of new provinces in the past, Naqvi's intervention is quite significant, as he is perceived to be very close to the military establishment. From 2023 to 2024, he served as the caretaker chief minister of Punjab, remember, although he was elected to the country's Senate as an independent candidate. Naqvi was surprisingly inducted as the Interior Minister by the PMLN. That's not all. Naqvi has been Munir's trusted aide in furthering Pakistan's so-called role as a mediator in the West Asia crisis. For instance, Naqvi has often visited Iran as well as the US as part of the mediation efforts. But why is the demand for new provinces politically sensitive? This is also seen as a move to marginalize PMLN and PPP, which are 2 of the country's 2 largest parties. In fact, PMLN and PPP derive their electoral strength from Punjab and Sindh, respectively. That's the context. And they have consistently opposed this demand, owing to their concern that any change to provincial boundaries could impact their political future. For instance, the PPP has been against making Karachi a federal territory, and the PMLN, meanwhile, has opposed creation of a South Punjab province, as it may benefit the PPP and the Imran Khan-led PTI. A key question here arises, what is the sudden trigger for Munir's push to have more provinces? What's behind that move? Is there a possible US angle to this, as has been suggested? The strategic location of Balochistan is key here, as it shares a 900-kilometer-long border with Iran. Considering that China already has a presence and massive investments in Balochistan, a bifurcation of the province may help provide a possible land corridor for the US from Balochistan to Iran. In fact, this speculation also coming in the wake of America's growing interest in Balochistan, which has vast natural resources. At the White House last year, Munir showed off rare earth mineral potential of the region to Trump, remember? Subsequently, the US Export-Import Bank approved the financing of $1.25 billion to support the mining of critical minerals in Balochistan. As per the US envoy to Pakistan, this project would help create an estimated 7,500 jobs in the province. Now, the divide in Pakistan's ruling class also comes at a time when chaos has been escalating in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. We have been telling you about this. In fact, the second round of the so-called elections there also mired in a lot of controversy over the brutal crackdown on the civilians and the allegations of rigging.
हमें ये समझ नहीं आ रही कि अपना हक मांगना कौन सी दहशतगर्दी है। आज हमारे निहत्थे लोगों को यहाँ पर शहीद किया जा रहा है, हमें दहशतगर्द करार दिया गया है। हम इसकी भरपूर मजम्मत करते हैं और हमारी जंग किसी अदारे या किसी मुल्क के ख़िलाफ़ नहीं है। हम तमाम लोग यहाँ पर अपना हक लेने के लिए यहाँ पर रोडों पर इकट्ठे हुए हैं।
On the other hand, 17 people, including security personnel, were killed in a suicide bombing on a police station in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's region. And this incident took place as when a peace rally was underway. And this raises another key question. Can the army's push for more provinces prove to be a beginning of the end for the bonhomie between Munir and the Sharifs? However, with any change to the provincial boundaries requiring approval by a two-thirds majority in the assemblies, the creation of new provinces will be anything but easy. An Iran-linked organized crime network is under scrutiny after reports claim that it has recruited teenagers to carry out contract killings, allegedly, including attacks on Israeli targets across Europe. The BBC reports that the Foxtrot network, a European criminal organization allegedly linked to the Iranian regime, is believed to be responsible for around 35 murders, allegedly, along with several attacks and attempted attacks on Israeli targets across Europe since 2022. According to the BBC, the group routinely recruits vulnerable teenagers, deliberately targeting younger recruits because they are allegedly more willing to take risks and less likely to consider the consequences of getting caught. The report says Foxtrot allegedly promises cash for the attacks, but many recruits are arrested during or soon after the operation, meaning the network often avoids paying them. The case has drawn new attention after a British court convicted a 19-year-old Norwegian national of conspiracy to commit murder, allegedly. The Norwegian teenager was arrested in a hotel in the UK in March last year with 2 firearms and ammunition. Prosecutors told jurors that Foxtrot recruited him allegedly after someone using the alias Agent 47 arranged the hiring of an assassin with $28,500 set aside for the operation, allegedly. The BBC reporting that Foxtrot leader Rava Majid, also known as the Kurdish Fox, is based in Tehran and is allegedly directed by the Iranian regime to target its enemies, including dissidents, journalists, Israeli targets. The network emerged in Sweden in the late 2010s, reportedly, before expanding into Norway and other parts of Europe. Recruiters allegedly use encrypted messaging apps and social media to lure teenagers, sometimes as young as 13, into carrying out shootings, murders, grenade attacks and bombings. As reports Senior figures commission and finance attacks, while younger recruiters advertise jobs online, identify vulnerable teenagers. Many recruits reportedly do not know who ultimately ordered the crime. In 2025, the UK sanctioned Foxtrot and Madrid, and then UK Foreign Secretary also said the group had targeted Jewish and Israeli interests across Europe on behalf of the Iranian regime. The United States also sanctioned the organization, accusing it of illegal drug trafficking and attacks on Israelis and Jews in Europe. Iran has denied the allegations, with its embassy in London categorically rejecting any connection between the Iranian government and the Foxtrot network. On to South India, the row over the Kaveri water dispute continues to rock the political landscape. In the latest, the Tamil Nadu government has moved the Supreme Court, accusing Karnataka of not releasing the quantum of water allocated to the state by the Kaveri Water Regulation Committee in its recent order. The move comes even as the DMK staged a massive protest in Tamil Nadu today, accusing the ruling TVK government of neglecting farmers' concerns and failing to protect the state's interests in the long-running dispute. The demonstration also coming amid renewed political sparring over crop loan waivers and the contentious reservoir project. The leader of the opposition led the DMK's protest alongside the senior DMK leaders. The DMK basically is demanding firm action to secure Tamil Nadu's rights over Kaveri water, complete waiver of agricultural crop loans, also the announcement of a special relief package for Delta farmers. The DMK says the protest is aimed at pressing the Vijay-led government to act more decisively on issues affecting the farming community, particularly water security and agricultural relief. The party has warned that a larger statewide agitation could follow if the government continues to ignore the farmers' concerns. The DMK president alleged the TVK government failed to honor its election promise of waiving the crop loans in full for farmers owning less than 5 acres and by 50% for those with larger land holdings. MK Stalin noted that the government initially announced a waiver of up to 50,000 rupees before increasing it to 75,000 rupees following protests by the farmers. Stalin also accused the government of not doing enough to safeguard Tamil Nadu's interests in the Kaveri dispute. Earlier on Sunday, the Karnataka Chief Minister said Tamil Nadu Chief Minister had agreed to postpone his proposed visit to Bengaluru after the Karnataka government requested a deferment because of the heightened emotions over the Kaveri dispute. Not just that, he urged various organizations in Karnataka to withdraw the Bandh in the state, scheduled to take place on the 13th of August, saying that improved rainfall has eased the immediate situation.
The government and I are committed to protecting the interest of the people and farmers on the Kaveri issue. We will safeguard the interest of the state under all circumstances. We are still facing drought-like situations.
DK Shivakumar thanked Vijay for the gesture, saying it would help maintain a cordial atmosphere between the two neighbouring states. He added that despite political differences, both states must respect each other and work together. Shivakumar also reiterated that the proposed balancing reservoir is a long-term solution to the Kaveri issue. And he claimed that nearly 90% of the project's benefits would go to Tamil Nadu, and insisted that water stored at the reservoir could not be diverted to Bengaluru. Karnataka has 4 major reservoirs in the Kaveri basin, essentially, and as of August 2nd, water capacity in 3 reservoirs reportedly was close to their full capacity because of the recent rainfall in the area. However, water in the largest reservoir is still far below the full capacity reportedly. Referring to the Kaveri Water Management Authority's direction to release 3,500 cusecs of water to Tamil Nadu for 15 days, the Karnataka Chief Minister said the state was complying with the order despite the difficult situation arising from the deficient rainfall. And before we go further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. Don't go anywhere. We are getting you a special report on the tragic loss of a generation of Nepali climbing legends. A 76-year-old has won a Commonwealth Games gold medal. It's a remarkable feat. We tell you more. You don't want to miss this. How did you spend your weekend? Let's tell you how Donald Trump spent his weekend. It seemed he turned his Truth Social account into a huge showcase of AI-generated images. They just kept coming, mixing politics with sci-fi, fantasy, a lot of personal branding. From historic American heroes to walking with aliens, the US president shared over 40 posts, most of which were AI-generated images, reportedly, that quickly grabbed a lot of attention and, of course, sparked a lot of chatter online. That image on your screen, one of them. Reimagining Donald Trump also as music icon Elvis Presley, another one. He was seen dressed in Elvis's signature white jumpsuit. He appeared on stage under those bright lights, a microphone in front of him. The post offered no explanation, letting the AI-generated image speak for itself, it seems. Another post showing Trump resembling a Revolutionary War commander. This AI artwork showing him dressed in an 18th century military uniform, leading soldiers into battle with an American flag in the background. He also appeared to place himself in the same league as former US Presidents George Washington and Lincoln after he shared a post containing an image showing the three US presidents sitting together. His Truth Social post once again brought Greenland in the spotlight. This post captioned, "Hello Greenland," showed the US president overlooking the world's largest island, perhaps alluding once again to his desire for America to take over Greenland, despite a lot of that pushback from both Greenland and Denmark. Other posts, including AI-generated images tied to Venezuela, a map of the South American country covered in American flags, captioned 51st state. He loves that term, clearly. The US president also shared posts attacking political rivals. Together, the weekend's posts perhaps reflecting Trump's unique way of amplifying his online messaging, whether praised as creative or criticized as provocative or even bizarre. This posting spree also seems to be a message in itself, perhaps showing how Trump is using AI-generated imagery to try and grab attention on social media ahead of the midterm elections. On to a special report. The mountains are believed to be unforgiving. Every year, we see trekkers and climbers get injured or even face the worst outcomes, including losing their lives. The Karakoram range has spoken once again, but with a deadly force. Broad Peak, which is the world's 12th highest mountain located in that range, towering over 8,000 meters above sea level, has become the scene of one of mountaineering's darkest tragedies. A massive avalanche ripping down Broad Peak last week, it did more than claiming 6 Nepalese lives. It wiped out one of the most accomplished generations of high-altitude heroes that the country has produced. It's been a tragic loss. Experts say Nepal has rarely suffered such concentrated loss of internationally recognized and highly accomplished climbers in a single mountain disaster. This is more than just an accident. It's the huge loss of an entire generation of mountaineering excellence. Men who had guided hundreds to the world's highest summits. They carried flags across Everest, K2 and beyond, now claimed by a mountain they knew all too well. And among those dead is the world-renowned mountaineer, widely known as Nimsdai, along with 5 elite Nepali mountain guides whose experience, their skills, helped shape modern Himalayan climbing. They were legends. He served with Britain's Brigade of Gorkhas before joining the Special Boat Squadron of the Royal Marines. He has broken multiple climbing records since becoming a full-time mountaineer and tour guide. He has climbed all 14 of the world's 8,000-meter peaks in just 189 days in 2019. The other Nepali climbers who have lost their lives tragically in the avalanche, including Pur Bahadur Gurung, Hilipemba, Galu and Navang Thendu. Most had completed dozens of successful ascents of Everest and other 8,000-meter peaks, with several earning global recognition for their achievements. Although Broad Peak is often considered less technically difficult than K2 or Annapurna, experienced mountaineers warn that this perception can be dangerously misleading. One of its greatest hazards is the Falls Summit, as it's called, located at approximately 8,035 meters. Exhausted climbers battling extreme cold and severe oxygen deprivation often mistake this point for the true summit. In reality, the actual summit requires another 2-hour traverse along an extremely narrow ridge with 1,000-meter drops on both sides. A single misstep or a sudden gust of wind, perhaps, can have fatal consequences. In fact, the Karakoram range is not officially part of the Himalayas, but its weather is harsher and more unpredictable than much of the Himalayas. Climbers face violent jet stream winds, rapidly changing conditions, sudden avalanches capable of destroying established camps in the infamous death zone, as it's called. The route also includes steep snow and rock sections where fixed ropes are essential. Even a small error in rope placement, perhaps, or movement could place an entire team at risk. And this tragedy is a powerful reminder that no amount of experience can actually eliminate the unpredictable dangers that come with high mountain trekking. Broad Peak also demands far more than physical strength as such. It tests a climber's patience, judgment, focus, resilience, and respect for nature at its most unforgiving. Let's now get you some offbeat stories. History was made at the Commonwealth Games on Sunday. A 76-year-old from Australia claimed a gold medal. Hoskins became the oldest gold medalist ever at the Commonwealth Games. He was part of the Australian team that won the women's para bowls pairs gold medal. The Aussies were up against a familiar foe in the final, the Kiwi pair of Julie O'Connell and Terry Blackburn. The Australians had lost to them in the opening round and were down 4-1 in the second set. It seemed Hoskins and Bonnell were headed for the sudden death tiebreaker with New Zealand pair, but 44-year-old Bonnell proved to be the difference maker. She nudged the target ball or the jack, delivering 3 points to Australia, and this tied the set and secured a 6-3, 4-4 win for the Australian pair. Born in 1950 during the Auckland Games, Hoskins was the oldest competitor at the 2026 Games in Glasgow. She was elated after her triumph, of course. She said, and I'm quoting, "It's incredible. I'm still pinching myself. I never thought I'd ever get a gold medal at my age. Get out there and have a go and never give up." Hoskins broke the record held by Scotland's George Miller, who was 75 when he won the para mixed pairs gold in 2022. Time now to get you one of the most fascinating images coming in of the day, taking you to Iraq, where Shia Muslim pilgrims gathered along the Marble Avenue linking the Imam Hussein and Imam al-Abbas shrines in Karbala, south of Baghdad. During the pilgrimage, this marks 40 days of mourning for Imam Hussein, the Prophet Muhammad's grandson, killed in the Battle of Karbala. Time now for the big question hanging in the air, the answer to which will determine a lot. For weeks now, we've seen a pattern in a way. Trump announces a deal is close or that a meeting is imminent as far as the Iran situation is concerned, only for Iran to publicly contradict him later. And a bigger question arises here. Is Trump projecting confidence to pressure Iran into the room or on the talking table, or is he getting ahead of a diplomatic process that actually is not quite there yet? Think about it. Let's also now tell you more about 3 major events that could shape headlines around the world over the next 24 hours. The Department of Personnel and Training of Government of India will be hosting the second meeting of the BRICS Anti-Corruption Working Group and the second meeting of the BRICS Expert Network on Asset Recovery in Hyderabad, Telangana on 4 to 5 August under India's BRICS presidency. Michigan is set to hold its Democratic and Republican primaries to determine which candidates will run in the state's U.S. Senate race in the upcoming general election. With that, it's a wrap on this edition right here. We're taking a very short break. Stay with us.
Get the latest updates. Breaking news. Credible, clear, continuous. Experts across aisles. Diverse voices, one platform. WION World is one.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed? How many kids were traumatized? How many women lost their families? If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION World is One.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION World is One.
In this rapidly changing world, is your health keeping pace? Best practices and breakthroughs busting the hype with real insights. The timeless power of yoga and ancient healing. Good food, good mood. Small steps, big impact. Your health matters. Only on WION World is One. Because nothing matters more.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION World is One. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Get the latest updates. Breaking news. Credible, clear, continuous. Experts across aisles. Diverse voices, one platform. WION World is one.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION World is One.
Welcome back to WION World is One. We're glad you're watching. Time now for Pulse American Joker, the headlines. Russia claims at least 11 people killed and several wounded after Ukrainian strikes hit Russian Black Sea resort and the annexed peninsula of Crimea. President Trump lashes out after Iran denied it was in negotiations with the United States, declaring in an angry social media post that a U.S. military blockade will continue until there is a deal or total surrender. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence says that Jay Clayton, sworn in as the U.S. Director of National Intelligence overseeing 18 U.S. intelligence agencies, he takes on a role that was vacated in June when Tulsi Gabbard stepped down. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi visits the Imam Ali Shrine in Iraq's holy city of Najaf during the Arba'in pilgrimage. The Arba'in marks one of the most significant events in the Shia Muslim calendar. After a 52-hour drive, Ukrainian firefighters joined operations to fully extinguish the wildfire that devastated the Gironde region in southwestern France. An unprecedented mobilization is currently in the country.